when his numbers called, he'll make a play, and he made a play today.
All right, so can you take us through that interception? What was running through your mind there?
Well, I knew that usually when they try to clear the zone, I run with the wheel, but that time in the coverage I didn't have to, and I just sunk, and Logan made it was a good coverage, pressing on the out, forcing the overthrow to the outside shoulder. I just had to capitalize and make the play.
The second signing the Arizona Cardinals made shortly after the Josh Sweat signing was announced a couple of hours later, Akeem Davis-Gaither, inside linebacker from the Cincinnati Bengals, was signed to what was initially reported as a 2-year, $11 million deal, which is actually a 2-year, $10 million deal, which I believe it can go up to $11 million in value, but $5 million in guaranteed money, so it's basically a 1-year deal for the former Cincinnati Bengal, who was the third string inside linebacker for the Cincinnati Bengals. He played limited snaps throughout his rookie contract as a starter on their defense. However, he was playing substantial snaps as a special teams player. Now, in the 2024 season, he signed a 1-year extension with the Bengals, where we saw him become a starter in the second half of the year, with some injuries there, where he played sort of from week 13 onwards as the starting sort of Mike linebacker, inside linebacker for the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll just show as well on the screen the difference between his sort of, if you're into PFF grades, his PFF grading between when he was a starter from week 13 onwards, and then also when he was sort of that rotational third string linebacker in the earlier parts of the year. You can see his grading was obviously much better when he was that sort of third inside linebacker on the team, which is when we signed him. I did a live stream with the AZ Sports fan or Mike. I'm sure most of you will know who Mike is, but I jumped on a live stream with Mike, and he asked me what role do I envision for Akeem Davis-Gaither. Now, the contract would probably suggest he's going to be one of the starting linebackers. However, I do see him playing a sort of mixed role in our defense. I think that Owen Papo will slowly be built up to a more starting role. We saw Owen Papo play obviously special teams since his rookie year, but he sort of slight increase in snap count from his first to second year as a player, and I would anticipate probably seeing a little bit more of Owen Papo in his third year, but Akeem Davis-Gaither to get majority of those snaps along with Mack Wilson Sr. as the sort of two starters for our inside linebacking core. Now, you can see as well, Kaiser White did play a substantial amount of snaps for this team. He was also the green dot on our defense, so I'm not sure if Akeem Davis-Gaither is going to get that green dot. I would assume it would be Mack Wilson Sr. who's going to get it, but like I said, we've seen sort of half a year of starting reps from Akeem Davis-Gaither, and he was not really elite, not really bad. He was just sort of right in the middle, and I think now that he's going to get a full offseason preparing and training as the starter, I think Gannon and Rallis can really get the most of Akeem Davis-Gaither. I did also reach out to Joe Goodberry, who's sort of like a Bengals content creator. He's been in the game for a very long time. Does a lot of Bengals content, not only on X, but also on YouTube. And I did reach out to Joe just to get a bit more insight on Akeem Davis-Gaither, which he gave a really nice, quick summary about him. He basically said he's an athletic hybrid linebacker. He said he was often an edge rusher in college, and we know Gannon and Rallis like those sort of versatile defenders, so that sort of ticks that box there. That can be a special teams staple, which is true. He was a phenomenal special teams player for the Bengals throughout his entire 5 years there. Joe also said he's a good athlete that has gained size and strength over his 5 years as a pro. Fluid mover despite not being great in coverage. However, we have seen him make a few plays in coverage. I'll put them somewhat throughout the video so you can have a look there. He said he plays a bit finesse versus the run and can miss tackles. We thought he might take a step each time he got a chance to start and never really did. Still, he made some splash plays and was a solid mid-round pick at the end of his Bengals run. Nothing bad to say about ADG. We liked him. And this sort of prompted a few more Bengals fans to sort of come out on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and sort of give their 2 cents to it as well. I had someone comment saying, not biased, that his family members with him, we played high school ball together, Special teams ace, great at block shedding and forcing plays to go the other way, which you can see that flash on his game tape as well. Gave him a comparison of a Frankie Louvu upside, and also mention his versatility, which again, that's key for what Jonathan Gannon wants, versatility in his players. Also had another fan comment saying he was a solid pickup, and he's just come in and worked his ass off. So the character's there. He was a team captain as well for the Bengals, so sort of ticking all the box from an intangible point of view, ticking the boxes as a special teams player. And I think he's ready to take the next step in his career, sort of that starting player for our defense. Like I said, I think Owen Papple will sort of come in and play a few snaps here and there, but nothing too major, I don't think. But I think it'll be, like I said, Mack Wilson Sr. and Akeem Davis-Gaither as our two starting inside linebackers. And that'll about do it. A bit of a shorter video this time around. Not really a player that's had too much sort of starting experience in his career. Like I said, special teams ace, and towards the end, so mid to end of last year, he became a starter for the Cincinnati Bengals due to, I think it was Logan Wilson getting injured. I could be wrong on that, could have been Jermaine Pratt, but overall, just a solid signing. Not too much money being pumped into the linebacker position, which I don't think is a surprise, given that they don't really value that position for the scheme. So Akeem Davis-Gaither, 28 years old, 2 years, $10 million, up to $11 million with $5 million guaranteed. So it's basically, like I said, a 1-year deal. I think he's going to come in. He's going to be a solid contributor. Like, again, nothing splashy, not a terrible player, not a low floor player. Just he'll come in, he'll be a solid starter for this team, and he will do his job. So overall, not a bad signing. Nothing really to write home about. Nothing to get overly excited about. But, you know, it's sort of a position we needed, and it sort of ticks that box going into the draft. So you're not sort of pigeonholing yourself into having to force a pick at linebacker. With that said, if you stuck around this long, thank you for watching the video. I've got 2 more coming out. I'm going to do a Jacoby Brissett video, Dalvin Tomlinson video, the other sort of 2 notable signings. The other guys we sort of signed, a bit lesser names, so not really going to do an individual video on those guys. I might do sort of a wrap-up video at the end where I go over the sort of re-signings, the signings just before the draft, and sort of go into a bit more sort of focus points in what positions we could and should target going into the draft. So like I said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.